said to shape the culture of a society. Well, artivism goes beyond that and shapes even mindsets. Karibuni tena to another episode of Dada Next Door, the podcast where we showcase amazing raw talent. We display the efforts made when art and activism are put together. And we highlight the incredible women who are behind all the creative expression that is looking to make a positive difference in our society. I am your host, Annie Agesa, and today we have a very interesting guest who does very, very interesting work. I know all our guests are interesting and their work is also interesting, but I don't know if you've heard of this one before. She is a visual artist and she specializes in creating mandalas. Mandalas are these beautiful, intricate pieces that are made of, creating patterns, and it all comes from, it's all unique to a specific artist. And you know what? I'm just going to let our guest, Mariam, tell you all about it. So today, Mariam is joining us. Hi, Mariam.
Hi.
Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Feel free to introduce yourself as you see fit and let us know what mandala is.
Okay. So my name is Mariam Suleiman. I'm 27 years old. I was born and raised in Mombasa, and I'm a visual artist. For the past 8 years, I've been focusing on mandala art and Islamic geometric art. And one thing you should know about me, that I have a superpower to change dull moments into magical ones.
Oh.
And in this journey of mandala art, many people usually are in the dark side. When we talk about mandalas, they usually say, what is mandala? Mandala nini yo? And or someone else will look at this mandala and they're like, oh, it looks like a flower. So yeah, she's a woman, flower stuff, nothing interesting, siya kushtua. But if you love something, you just keep pushing on until, you get to the surface of the water and get seen.
Yeah.
When someone asks what a mandala is basically, in Sanskrit, it means a circle. So usually mandala came back from the Asian cultures, the Buddhists, the Indians. They used mandalas as a form of spiritual and religious thing. They had this sand process where you just draw mandalas with sand on the floor, and then they represent certain symbols, for spirituality. So growing up, I never knew about mandalas, by the way. It's just, it was my recent, well, not really recent. I had gone to study in China.
Right.
Yes, and on my endeavors out there, there was this, how can I say, it's a temple tour. And we found this monks, and I found what they were doing was interesting. So it's like, okay, what they're doing, and they told us about mandalas. Came back home and like, okay, mandalas is interesting. So came back home the first time, instead of working on a paper or like basic canvas, I went straight up to the wall and did my first mural.
On the wall?
On a wall, yes. It was like an overlapping mural, overlapping mandalas mural. So it was around 12 of them overlapping each other. So it took me a while, and that's where my journey started. So.
Okay, and so you'd always been an artist in the sense that you painted, you drew before?
Yes, before mandalas, I was an artist. Actually, I only remember being an artistic person. I actually used to draw, I used to love painting and drawing sketches, portraits. As a kid, you just look everything on YouTube. I could just look at one picture and draw the same thing. But then as I grew up with my religion, as a Muslim, we usually told that it's not allowed as a Muslim to draw living souls. And when you go up online, there's always, how can I say, controversies One person will tell you, yeah, it's fine as long as you don't include the eyes and nose and blah blah blah. Another person will tell you, yeah, it's okay, you can just do it, it's fine as long as your intention is cool. And I was torn in between, so I decided just not to do with the portraits and all that. And as I kept on drawing and drawing, and that's when mandalas came into being.
So it stood out to you. You were able to express yourself without too many limits.
Yes.
Okay, and you also mentioned that your creative process is therapeutic to you, gives you some sort of healing. Would you now describe for us this creative process, like creating a mandala? Where do we start? Mandala inaanzia wapi?
Well, mandala basically inaanzia kwa circle. The word itself is circle.
Circle, yeah.
Yes. So during my journey, as I searched about mandalas, they talked about spirituality and Buddhism and stuff like that. As a Muslim, you feel like, okay, am I doing this right? I just want to do something that I love, but I don't want limitations.
Yeah.
And through mandala is when I found Islamic geometric art.
Right.
Funny enough, I was born and raised in Mombasa, but I didn't realize what was surrounding me first. And then you realize the temples, the mosques, the old town, all these shapes come into me like, okay, so mandala has been here for long. So mandala, basically, you just start with the circle part. Like once you get done with the idea in your head, you put it into action. Once it's there, you start repeating the process. I usually like calling them from basic patterns to like advanced patterns. So my basic patterns are just like the floral, where you just like repeat and repeat and repeat. And then the advanced patterns is like the geometric part. Islamic geometry is a bit complex. So it offers a wide range of repetition and complexity. And through that, it just gives you that form of freedom. You forget yourself. Everyone says art is therapeutic. And funny, when I was going through my research, it's saying mandala, as you draw each and every repetitive, how can I say, a design, your brain usually releases some stuff.
Some good stuff.
Yes, and it says that your brain goes to a point, it's called an alpha wave point. At that point, it's easy for a person to break all habits and learn new things. So for me, it's, I don't know, it's always therapeutic. You just find yourself when you're so stressed and depressed, and you end up there just repeating this. Imagine just writing a letter A every time.
Over and over.
But then your head is just somewhere else, because let's say you like deep in thought, but then the process of just going and going, once you're done, you just feel like you're refreshed, because the process of mandalas is like painting. First is sketching, and then painting, and then after painting, there's the favorite part of mine, which is like the stoning part.
Yeah.
So that's how can I say, that's like my mark, because everyone outside there does mandalas. So I wanted to do something more interesting, and I found like using stones bring out the beauty in mandalas.
What kinds of stones?
So far, I mean, I'm not the I can't afford the high-end real rubies
like
and whatever
gemstones,
stone. Yes,
yeah.
so I just use the like basic rhinestones. I get them from online stores. They're quite cheap, and so many of them, and I just dot them down with glue, and I realize that's the best part when I do mandalas. And then the certain quote goes in my head. They're saying when you see a certain piece of an artist, they say that's like a soul, a part of the soul in that piece.
art.
So for me, when I put those stones in there, it's like, it feels like I'm putting a piece of my soul in each and every bit of the stone.
Because that's like a personal touch.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
a really shiny personal touch. I love
thank
that for you.
Thank you.
And you've attributed some of the influences to Islamic geometric art and to like the Hindu, the Sanskrit mandalas and everything. So how do these cultural influences make your art more intriguing, unique, and inclusive?
So when someone looks at like my paintings, the first thing they'd go be like, oh, hey, that looks like a Persian carpet, or oh, it looks like the ones that you find in the mosques or the temples.
Yeah.
And it's true. And for someone like me from Mombasa and people who see my work, they resonate with that type of art. Because dating back, Mombasa as a small town came to being because of the Arabs coming down there and bringing up these structures. All that fusion of cultures and traditions. So when someone sees this type of art, they feel at home. Like, I know that it's not something different, compared to when you just go through a huge graffiti that you don't understand. Like, people around there will be like, yes, it's art, but then you don't feel that homey aspect. You don't resonate. So I think that's why my work resonates much with the people around there, because it dates back to the culture and traditions of Mombasa.
And as you try and create that link, as you were trying to create that link as much earlier, you were commissioned to do a really interesting piece, the mural at Markiti.
Yes.
Please tell us more about that and what kind of impact you were hoping to achieve with the work that you were going to do, and what did you put into consideration as you were creating it?
Wow, so that project was 2 years back. Funny how they found me.
They always find you.
Someone just oh, there is Mariam somewhere. We found you.
There's
finally.
Always that one right person who's like, I know. And
at that moment, I was actually living in Nairobi, and so there's a lady called Rehab Nderu. She's a creative concept consultant. She's in Mombasa, and she's like, Mariam, I've been looking for you for quite some time, trying to text you, email, Facebook, and finally, I got you. So we have this project called My Mombasa Project, and the government is willing to, they're trying to, empower the creatives around Mombasa. So one of the sectors was mural art. So they wanted she was looking for someone who could be in that space and people will feel home with, I think, And she's like, Mariam, I think your work just goes hand in hand with the project that I want you to work with us. I was like, okay, sure, no problem. So I came back in Mombasa, and it was the place was in Marikiti. It's a really old structure and dates back to those days.
Public market.
Yes, public market that's currently used for selling vegetables and spices that almost every foreigner that comes down Mombasa has to go. Yes. So she's like, we need to do a mural over here, and I want you to do your thing on these walls and incorporate the spices over here and the vegetables. They're like, yeah, sure, no problem. But at the same time, I won't lie to you, I was scared. You can imagine from someone who's not seen, all your life is on the canvas and the papers, and then suddenly just one day some big organization comes to you like, we need you to do a mural.
Markets,
yes,
where everyone will be seeing it.
Exactly. And that time it was, I think, COVID time. So the good part of it was I used to do it at night, because until the guys were closed down, that's when I could do it, because it was on the walls, and down the wall was the guys from who were selling.
People are selling.
Yes, so you couldn't do it unless at night. So for me, it was an advantage, because I'm a night owl. I do all my work. I have all these eye packs, by the way, because
they serve a purpose.
Yes, these are my scars, artist scars.
Your
by the way.
battle scars.
Exactly. So for me, it was advantageous, the fact it was at night, and there's no one looking at me. I can concentrate.
So you used to work from what time to what time?
6 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Oof.
Yes, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. guys were usually could hear the adhan from the mosques where people go to pray. So we close down and then went back home till the next day. That was the process. And it was a bit scary for me, because the first time climbing scaffolds. I was like, what on earth is scaffolds?
What is happening here?
Climbing all the way up there, there weren't any ladders. You had to climb like on this tiny like rings.
Oh,
Like,
yes. Okay.
Yes. Those fundis that work on big buildings. Yes, I was like, you can go up until you have to climb on these things. So everything was just
How long
high
did it take
adrenaline.
you? How long?
I think we took about 1 week because we were on a deadline. I was given this commission. Rahab told me, Mariam, so are you able to do it? But then we're on a deadline. But I doubt you're going to finish because it's first time.
Yeah.
I don't know much about this, so we had to include. She told me, just choose someone. You get another artist who can help you. From there, you can do this work properly. So during that journey, I had an assistant who helped me through the process. I wasn't alone, by the way.
Yeah,
Fellow
that's
artist,
great.
yes, and a fellow. How can you say? There's a whole group of people. The county police people.
To make sure you're safe and everything.
Yes, my husband was there.
Yeah.
So
Moral support.
whole night, taking pictures and memories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was memories, I can say.
Did you enjoy yourself creating these videos?
Yes. I mean, I can't believe in the middle of this journey.
Yeah.
I was so confident. I came back. Every time I come back, it felt like I was going to my studio. 6 p.m. You're there, guys. You're like, oh, there you are, Mariam. How are you? Assalamu alaikum. Salam from the basic salam. And there I am in my overall. I felt like, okay, this is weird. We used to wearing this bui.
Yeah.
But then had
That's
to
an
change
overall.
into exactly because going up all the way is difficult. You could stumble upon my clothes and just whoo.
Oh yeah,
Mine
and
is
we also
gone.
don't want to get paint on the good clothes,
Exactly. It was a good feeling.
Okay, I'm glad you had a really good time.
Yeah.
That's usually really important, and sometimes as artists grow, they forget to now,
fun in the
to have fun with it.
Yes,
because now it
exactly.
just becomes, if you're boxed into something, it becomes like, yes, this is my job.
You forget to be very creative at that point.
And
Yes,
you
it's
lose
true.
a little bit of the edge. So other than having fun, obviously there is the artivism edge to it, because it often uses art as a tool for social change, right? So how do you envision your mandalas empowering people or starting conversation or with individuals, communities? How do you envision it making any kind of cultural impact or difference?
Well, we can go back to the mural part.
Yes.
Because the fact that I got the opportunity as a woman, as a girl, as a Muslim girl there in Mombasa, something that's not really common for a girl in Bui standing up on the walls doing all the spray
in the
painting
middle of the
and-
night.
exactly, holding these gears that men are used to, spray painting. You just feel like
what
am I a
tools
cowboy?
did you use?
I used the spray guns. The spray guns that are usually connected to the generator.
Yeah.
So it was hard. I got help from them, but I got a hold of how to use them. So it felt good and privileged in a way. Like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
And relating that my art, that brings this issue of women in society, women in art into light. The fact that I got this opportunity tells that someone out there, like, hey, if she did it, then I can do it. It's like something that's been covered for long, but then finally there's that breakthrough. Like, okay, so it's possible. So a Muslim lady in a hijab in Mombasa can do it. So it makes someone out there, it gives someone that how do you say, morale. Like, if she did it,
there's
okay,
hope.
I can do it. There is hope. Exactly. If you keep persisting, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
Wow. And then as for the mental health aspect, because there's so much that it does for you personally from your own words, your own experience. How do you hope to take other people with you along this mental wellness journey? of using your mandala art to, free yourself. You talked about freedom when you're creating those patterns. And how do you plan to take other people with you on your wellness journey?
Oh, well, sometimes I sit back and, they tell you everything happens for a reason, and the fact that I'm someone who usually likes to keep my problems to myself. And I feel like I say to myself, like, maybe God, you gave me this talent to draw mandalas, to just, pour everything out in that piece of paper to create something beautiful at the end. Because these days, I know it's okay to feel not okay and talk to someone. There's someone who out there who who is uncomfortable to seek help. For me, I feel like having basic mandala or just drawing or doing art can help you as a start. It can help you at least, decompress, something like that. You go out these days and people are willing to pay money to go into therapy sessions, painting and having fun. And you do realize that in that moment, people are usually having fun, even after, whatever happened to them. It just brings light that, as when it comes to mandalas, I mean, because someone else will say, okay, painting also does this. I'm talking about mandalas.
Yes.
It helps in therapy sessions, and in the future I'm looking forward to holding workshops and get together sessions, bringing people together. And if you can talk about it, I'm pretty sure that therapeutic moment when you're in the moment of painting and drawing the round and round and round, yes, you just come out there someone fresh, someone different, someone elevated. It helps in a way.
Yeah, someone who's experienced something.
Yes,
that gave
exactly.
them peace.
Yes, it feels better. It might not eradicate all your problems, but there's that good feeling at the end.
In that moment, at the end of it.
Yes, you feel a bit lighter.
Yes, you feel lifted. You're literally.
I feel like I'm in
your
the
shoulders
moment.
are like.
Exactly. Wow.
Right, and there's so much symbolism in just mandala art in general. Does every single piece have to be completely different? Okay, no, I feel like yes, it has to be completely different, but does every single piece have to produce a specific meaning? You saw it coming.
Yes, that's why I think I had said earlier, when I started, I didn't want to have limitations, because the history of mandala is all about symbolism and spirituality and all that thing. And for me, I didn't want that. I didn't want to bring controversy into my art.
Right.
So for me, I just, my mandalas are mostly for beauty, but also it brings that it brings solace at the end, right? I don't prefer to have a certain meaning.
Yeah.
Because once I was so comfortable in drawing mandalas, I incorporated Islamic geometric art.
Yeah.
Because when you compare right now what I'm doing to the old and traditional mandalas, it's not the same thing, apart from the basic circle. Exactly. So for me, it's all about beauty and that solace, meditative and feeling good after effect.
Yeah.
So I don't usually prefer to have certain meaning in my art.
To have such heaviness all the time.
It just, whatever the public is open to explaining what they see, good for them.
They can interpret it. You can interpret it however you want.
Exactly. But for me, as an artist, it's all about beauty and that after effect.
Yeah. Yeah, and you show this through your business as well.
Pardon?
You show the beauty of the mandalas and everything through your everyday. You're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So there's the business that you run where you put your art on functional things. So tell us all about it.
So how can I say? I think it's just that artsy person in me that whenever I see a blank canvas, I just want to put my mark on
I
it.
can
Like,
beautify you.
yes, turn, bibbidi boppidi boo.
Eh,
So after I got married, gave birth, so I realized my time was becoming limited. With kids, you have priorities.
Yeah.
Being a wife, being a mother, and when I was drawing mandalas back then, you feel like you have the whole time to yourself.
Yeah.
You can draw this huge piece and
yeah.
no one's going to tell you anything. But now, you realize, not like, how can I say? I tell myself that not my world doesn't revolve only about like art. Art to my life is just like a part of it. Part of me is a mother, part of me is a wife, and that's where I started creating. Making art, using mandalas or dotilism method on ceramics, on mugs. Like, I could do what I love with the limited time I have by just, it's just a piece of glass, something small.
yeah.
I can put my art out there and people love it, like, okay, I want to buy this. Sure. I was like, okay, this is a good idea. I
Yeah.
can do ceramics. So right now what I'm doing, I'm buying Libby cups, the ones with the straw,
The sippy cup
the
ones.
sippy cups, exactly. Yes. So our guys call mason jars, I think.
Yeah.
So it's a real thing right now. So it's like, why not use this opportunity to just design these Libby cups and
Yeah.
get them to the world? But deep inside, I do have this sense of guilt. Like, I know someone out there is like, Mariam's not doing mandalas anymore. And it comes to me like, I miss it. I miss drawing Persian carpets, which like take a long time, 1 month, 2 months. But I don't have that time. I can decide to start something right now and don't finish it.
Yeah.
So that's why as time goes by, it's like life just pushes you somewhere else. Like,
Yeah.
I know there's mandalas and Persian carpets somewhere else, but I need to keep moving. I need to keep my art, evolving. And that's why where I'm right now, I'm doing like ceramics, whatever,
Yeah.
anything to just keep selling, make me feel good that I'm turning my passion to profit.
Yes. And I think art is all about dynamism and
Yes,
growth,
exactly.
learning how to
Much better.
work with that and move forward.
Yep.
In different seasons of your life, you can't always stay doing
Exactly.
same
You keep
thing.
moving, you keep evolving,
Yeah.
changing. Yes.
Evolving. I love that word.
Morphing.
Morphing. We forgot.
Perfect.
Yes, you keep morphing into
Exactly.
someone else. It feels like now the more functional pieces that you create have a really broad market. Absolutely anyone can come to you and say, Mariam, put a mandala on this, put something beautiful on this.
Yes.
Do you think that is one of the ways that your art brings interconnectedness, like breaking down barriers? Because someone will be intrigued and come and ask, what is this? Or do you think that only sticks to larger pieces like now the mural? Is that the only way that you can display the interconnectedness, how you bring together all these disciplines?
Back then, when I was doing the canvas pieces, people would be like, yes, what's that? Mandalas, nini here. Oh, you always get I'd always get these questions. But now, as I narrow down, as I morph into something else,
girl, morph.
and incorporating my art
Yes.
into like functional pieces,
Yeah.
people are willing to buy without even like much questions.
Yeah.
It's something nice, it's something functional. Wow, this is good.
Yes.
But when they look at it, they just see like dots and whatever, and they won't even necessarily think that this is a mandala. But for me, I know where I'm coming from. It's like I disintegrated these mandalas into like dots. There's a form of art called dotilism.
Yes.
You can do the designs and just use dots.
Yes.
You can draw your face, but just using like dots. So that's dotilism. Dotilism, yes. And I don't know if there's an interconnection between that, but at the end of the day, I think it's all about like beauty and being true to myself and being persistent. That I, as an artist,
Yeah.
I am going on with my journey, no matter the how can I say the fallbacks I have in my journey, the people who don't have confidence in me, people who be like yeah, she's just an artist.
Yeah.
Nothing much. She's just married. But for me, it's a whole new world for me. It makes me happy. I just do it. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I answered the question.
Yeah, you more or less did. It makes you happy, and through that beauty now, it feels like so many more people are open to
Yes.
taking this art in without too many
Yes.
questions.
Plus, I remember it's what I do right now with the functional things. It makes how can I say, more people are able to access my art, because now it's a small thing, it's not that expensive, because you can realize the complexity of patterns in mandalas and the Persian carpets, and you can literally guess how much this is gonna go for. And it's only like for the
Persian
collectors or
carpets,
for people
yeah.
who know it's worth. But
Yeah.
having to narrow down on these functional things, it just, there's that connection that I can put my art out there, and people will like it easily and not just have to think twice, like, should
Yeah.
I take it, what is it for?
Yeah, what is it for?
Exactly. I don't need it on my wall. I mean, it's not necessary. But for, I mean, women, us, we love things, we love accessories.
Yeah.
So I feel like my art mostly is how can you say,
It's like appeals to women.
yes, the women, like the sector for women mostly. And of course, to sell my things to a guy, be like, okay, how about you just buy one for your loved one? It's not that easy, to wool down a guy, like, to buy a mandalas or like ceramic stuff. So
Yeah.
you just have to be like, buy one for a loved one.
Yeah, but you have done some pretty interesting pieces, especially the PS5.
Thank
There
you so
is
much.
a PS5 piece that you guys should see, along with so many of
Oh,
the
by the way, that one,
ceramic
I
pieces that
forgot.
she's done. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. It's lovely. And we're going to go on a short break, and please take this opportunity to check out her pieces. Start with the PS5 one. The description is in the link below. See you in a few. Welcome back, guys. Mariam and I were just talking about how her art is either bringing people together or bringing about any understanding, any curiosity, anything that will actually promote any culture that she's influenced by and that she plans to be influenced by. And with that, we would like to know, as you continue to evolve as an artist, because you're doing a lot of morphing, a lot of evolving, you keep growing, and you're definitely moving with the changing times, and we applaud you for that. So we want to know if you have any specific goals or aspirations that you want to achieve with your artivism, and if you have any projects that you want to do in the future, near future, far future, that you're excited for. Yeah.
Wow, it's a lot. I can start with the goals I have.
Yes.
Definitely for any other artist, it's always to exhibit in an exhibition, a gallery. For me, it's not just, I don't want to just draw the tiny mandalas. For me, I just want to draw on huge canvases, the way you'd walk in a place and find a Persian carpet on the floor.
Yeah.
My goal is to just draw a Persian carpet on the wall. You can imagine these beauty pieces on walls, like
Would be so
aligned,
grand.
That is just for a canvas. I'm really, really wishing and dream that one day I get this project to do a mural for a Persian carpet. It's intricate, I understand. And I remember when I was doing the mural back in Mombasa, an artist told me, Mariam, if this is your first time, make sure you draw everything big. Because mandalas, it's all about intricacy and the tiny details. And can you imagine on the wall, from small to just huge.
Large.
So it's difficult, is this enough, is this big enough? But for me, I feel like it's still a possibility. The fact that it's a Persian carpet, it's all intricate.
Yeah.
I want to do it, and I really, really, it just gives me butterflies whenever I think about it. I just want to do it on a wall. I want to do sessions, bringing women together. Someone out there will see me, and I'll be like the magnet. I'll be like pulling women.
Yeah.
Like I'm giving. It's like a bridge, or like channeling people to come together, to tell them a story that, hey, this is possible if you just keep on persisting. Yes, art, they'll tell you, okay, yeah, this is your talent, you're creative, so that's the positive side. I mean, how do you say, like it's an
Yeah.
advantage for you, so you're an artist because this is your talent.
Yes.
But apart from just passion, apart from creativity and passion, I think it takes a lot as an artist when it comes to like being disciplined, and putting a lot of effort and staying consistent, and having a lot of high self-esteem, because on the way, not just like in reality, right now everyone is stuck up on the phones. So you go on social media, and guys like, okay, this guy is really good. I'm like, what am I doing? You just see someone drawing like something so meaningful, and then you just sit back. I'm like, mandalas, now what is mandalas? And then you have to, okay, Mariam, this thing is beautiful.
Yeah.
It helps you. This is what you do, and this is what you
Yeah.
did. Keep going, because it's taken me places, and it's going to take me places. So I just want to tell everyone out there that, keep going. I think that's basically it. One of my, dreams and goals, to just tell the ladies out there in hijab, especially in Mombasa, just come out. Don't be scared. And by the way, it can be an easy journey if you have a strong support system. By the way, I forgot to mention this. Where I am right now is because I had and I have a strong support system.
Right.
From parents to family relatives to my husband. So if we have someone to, keep pushing you, that's when you get the courage to move on. But I understand that most people in my society don't have that. Okay, so I don't want someone to take my advice later and say, okay, she's lucky because she had the support system. I don't have it, so I don't need to go on with this path. See, you can actually don't have a support system, but maybe if you keep persisting, you would get another crowd.
Yeah, that will now be
Exactly.
a support system.
So for me, I thank God that I had this support system to push me where I am today.
That's beautiful. You've just brought out that you're really excited to, hold the hands of your fellow women.
Yes,
Take
yes.
them along with you.
Exactly.
I love to hear that. I love to see that. We absolutely hope you can achieve that.
I'm looking
We
forward
know
to
you
it.
can, actually. We're just waiting for the news.
Inshallah, that's what we say, God willing.
God willing.
Yeah.
So, how else can, other than listening to us and finding information about what you've done, how else can this audience or your audience in general interact with the art you've created, especially now from the artivism perspective, or even from just the art you've embedded in like everyday things? How can they interact with that? Yes, where are you available? Where can we find you?
That's a long question, I think, for a short answer, right?
Yeah, always very long. My questions tend to be long.
I am usually very active on Instagram at Marman399, Marman. So someone would ask, why Marman?
Yeah.
So Marman is just like a shortcut for my full name, Mariam Suleiman. So the first three words of my first name, M-A-R, Mariam. And then
Yeah.
Suleiman, the
The
last
last
three
three.
words of my second name.
Just
So Marman.
how artistic of
And
you.
the 399 basically is nothing, doesn't have a meaning, but it makes it, kind of cool. My 399. Yeah, I love the name. So that's where you can find me and interact with what I do and maybe get motivated, inspired.
Support your causes as well.
Yes, the same thing goes for Facebook, the same handles. And yeah, maybe, yeah, you'll find everything, everything there.
No worries. We'll actually link everything in the description below, so feel free to interact with everything Marianne has to offer.
Thank you.
I am starting to call you Marman because now in my head I'm like 399.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us
Oh,
today.
really? We did it?
Yes, we did it.
Thank you so
Clap for
much.
yourself.
Wow, that was fast
We did
and
it.
natural.
Yeah. Oh, love to hear it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for having me.
We really enjoyed finding out about the art of mandalas, where you get your inspiration from, and where we're going with it. Because in this space, in this industry, to be to stand out and be groundbreaking, you really have to carve out your own, your own space, your own niche, and you are doing that pretty well. And here are your flowers.
Thank you. By the way, I remember too, there's this, I saw it on Instagram too, someone had posted. It says, no guts, no story,
glory.
no legend.
Ooh.
So that every time is in my head, it keeps pushing me. Actually, I saw it recently and I just really loved it. No guts. If you don't have the guts, you don't have a story. And definitely you won't make out as a legend.
Ooh, you had it here first. No guts, no story, no legend. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
And I loved how at some part you said you were really, really scared when you were doing the mural, but you felt fear and you did it anyway. So we're going for that legend.
My mom always says, do your best and God will do the rest.
Yeah.
So I always have that in my head. So I just do it as, even though you're scared, just do it.
Be
Nike
scared
says,
and
just
do it.
Yes. I was scared of this interview, by the way. I'm always having these butterflies, but just did it.
You just did it. You can check it off your list and you did it
Done,
well.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Agnes.
Say bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.